All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whenever you, wherever you are, whenever you're listening, I do hope it's a good one. Now, let me go ahead and get to the news. The U.S. Postal Service, me now, decides to jump windows. Thank you so much. Seeks relief from COVID testing vaccine rules. All right. Washington, January 5th, Rutgers. The U.S. Postal Service, USPS, has asked the Biden administration for temporary relief from the new vaccine testing requirements covering large businesses for its 650,000 employees, warning of potentially catastrophic, and I do that is in quotes, catastrophic impacts. Deputy Postmaster Doug, whatever, in a letter dated Tuesday, seen by Rutgers, asked the Labor Department's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, to delay by 120 days the deadline for the USPS to comply with the agency's vaccine with the agency's jab or testing mandate for large businesses, covering more than 80 million American workers. USPS is one of the largest civilian U.S. employers and says it cannot meet the deadline, citing inadequate staffing. Oh, yes. And of course, would also kill delivery for a lot of mail. All right. USPS wants approval to continue using its current COVID 19 migration policies while the request is being decided. We respectfully suggest, and I quote, we respectfully suggest that the nation cannot afford the additional potential substantial harm that would be engaged if the ability of the Postal Service to deliver mail in packages is significantly negatively impacted, unquote. And yes, had another issue with the computer. All right. USPS is not covered by Biden's separate rules, which mandated 3.5 million federal workers to be vaccinated or obtain medical or religious exemption by November 22nd. USPS warned that the rules are likely to result in the loss of many employees. Next up, in lifestyle, actress Betty White has the last laugh in a biographic comic book. The life of comedic actress Betty White is being celebrated in a new biographical comic book. White, who would have turned 100 on January 17th, capped a career with more than 80 years, becoming America's geriatric sweetheart. She died on Friday in her sleep at home, according to her agent. From her early days in television to her iconic role on The Golden Girls and her social media fame, the 30-page comic book by Tidal Wave Productions traces her Hollywood journey The book will be available both digitally and in print and can be found on multiple platforms such as Amazon.com. I'm not seeing when this book will be released, but I'm sure that if you keep up to date, we'll find out when it will be released soon. Google hit with $150 million euro French fine for cookie breaches. Paris, January 6th, Rutgers. France data privacy watchdog CNIL said Thursday it had fined Alphabet's and Google a record 150 million euros. That is 169 million 500, well, almost 600,000 US dollars. So 169 million 600,000 US dollars for data breaches. This is all for cookies. For making it difficult for internet users to refuse online trackers known as cookies. Meta platform Facebook was also fined 60 million euros for the same reason. Internet users' prior consent for use of cookies, tiny snippets of data that help build targeted digital ad campaigns, is a key pillar of the European Union's data privacy regulation and a top priority. When you accept cookies, it's done in just one click, said CNL's CNIL's head up for data protection and sanctions. Rejecting cookies, and this is a quote, rejecting cookies should be as easy as accepting them, unquote. Let's get on to the next story. Omicron spreads in India's biggest cities, but hospitalization is still low. Now, I can't pronounce the name of the city in India. India's mega cities are expecting, are experiencing a surge of COVID-19 cases, although without a corresponding rise in hospitalization. But fears are growing that a spread to rural areas is coming in the coming days. India's reported 90,928 new daily COVID cases on Thursday, up nearly fourfold since the start of the year. Mostly the cities where the officials say the Omicron variant has overtaken Delta. The bulk of those infected have shown no or only mild symptoms and have recovered quickly at home, officials said. The federal health ministry on Wednesday identified Delhi, uh, all these cities, as some of the main regions of concern, although state officials worry the disease will soon spread countrywide where health facilities are weaker. Well, here's the problem. They're not needed. So far, for most of them, So let's get on to the next story. Oh, yes. Beyond Meat's faux chicken has investors drooling. Lord. New York. Beyond Meat has given investors a reason to cheer early in the year. The $4 billion plant-based meat company, $4 billion plant-based meat company said they announced that Yum Brands KFC will offer Beyond Fried Chicken in the United States. The partnership, which follows 2 years of testing and pandemic-related delays, sent Beyond Meat shares up 5% in the early morning trading. Excuse me. The 200 million added to the company's market capitalization looks optimistic. A bucket of KFC's plant-based chicken will start at $7, and you can guarantee that that price will go up in a month or two. Assume that Beyond Meat earns $1 for of that in revenue, and apply the company's gross profit margin of roughly 30%. KFC would have to sell more than 650 million orders, or about two for each American, for Beyond Meat to earn a gross profit equivalent to the increase in its market value. Why would they care? However, the deal has other tasty benefits, adding KFC to existing outlets such as Starbucks, Denny's, and increases Beyond Meat's brand recognition in grocery stores, helping it compete with Impossible Foods and larger players like Kellogg's and Morningstar. Now, normally I don't get into the heavy hitting news. I thought I would go ahead and talk about that today. I hope that everyone's doing well. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. And as I normally do, I want to go ahead and greet the people who have joined in chat. I do want to say good morning to 47 Yorktown. Oh, and there was one story that I did forget about. Let me get to that real quick. YouTuber Random 42 is having a birthday coming up and has asked that if you want to send her hate mail or any other birthday wishes, the best way to do that, I'm actually going to put this on screen so that people can see, is Random 42, P.O. Box 1566, Loveland, Colorado 80538. That's Random 42, P.O. Box 1566, Loveland, Colorado 80538. And she has promised to read each and every message she gets on her birthday on a live stream. So go ahead and send her a postcard for next month. And all mail will be read on the air. So yes, feel free to contact her. as far as that goes. Let me get back to the chat real quick before ending this off. Again, good morning, 47 Yorktown. Good afternoon, Mountains of Elysium. Good morning, Low Specs Linux Laptop. Good morning, Professor Brady Specs. And thank you all for joining. Please join me on Morning Brew. Would be much appreciated. And again, thank you for joining today. Please like and share the stream out. It doesn't get a lot of views, so I would appreciate any that I do get. Thank you very much, and have a great day.